この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for the second penultimate episode reaction of Mushishi Zoku Show Season 2. I totally screwed up last time. I really thought that the episode 10 or episode 20, however you want to view it, that's listed in my thing was the special, and I didn't go and double check that, which I should have done, obviously. The reason that I did that was because in the last season, the last episode listed in the thing was the special for the thing, but in this season, from the same uploader, in the same file format, it's in a separate folder that's elsewhere, and it's like placed elsewhere. So I just messed up. I really thought that that was the final one, and we were just like, all right, we're done now. So we've got one more normal length episode, which is the last episode of the season, which is episode 20 of Zoku Show, and then we've got the double length special. Today, we're going to watch the first of those. We're going to watch the normal length episode, and then we'll see how we go from there. You'll already know because you'll see the length of the video, but I don't currently know whether I'm going to watch both today. I might just watch the one episode. I'm feeling pretty gassed, pretty tired, and if the first episode has some stuff to discuss, we'll probably just discuss it and call it a day, and we'll hit up the special next week. Regardless, we're here for episode 20 of Mushishi Zoku Show. We just had a couple of baller and kind of crazy episodes, and we got one more. Let's watch it. Let's see what's up. So, for the last time on a normal length episode, Mushishi Zoku Show, last episode. There'll be two versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, beep beep timer to count us down. Let's get going. No shiver. Or maybe it'll be later, but no shiver. Okay, growth of life. That's a penis flower. No. Oh, that's a tree. Lightning. Trees, forests, life, nature. Big trees. Old trees. Misty, mysterious trees. Oh, that's right. The tree of eternity. Eternal trees. Ancient trees. Happy trees. Paint, 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 paint. Hello. That you're gonna die. What the? That was a good child. Headpats. Headpats. Woohoo! This episode looks really good. It's like, this is some stylistically powerful stuff so far. Oh, he travels. So he's a builder. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm asking you to stay with your family, my mans. You have roots. You've got a fucking family. Okay, but it's the push-pull of wanting to explore and go further. Okay, there's some weird, trippy stuff. Oh, the plum is setting in. You should not have eaten that plum. Hello. Goodbye. Building and building. It's such a different vibe from every other episode. It's fascinating. And he's a woodworker. Hmm. It's a magic tree. But where? So now he hunts for the big tree. Oh, hi there. Oh? Yeah, rip, sorry. Oh. Oh. How have you known an old man since he was a young boy? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what? Wait. No, the tree remembers him. The tree. You ate the plum. Some weird shit going on. Yeah, some deja vu. Alright, weirdo. You're weird. Hey, my dude. Something's wrong with my mind. The tree has to remember, right? Something weird about what? Mm-hmm. I've known that old man since he was but a boy. What a crazy line. Bling. I love this episode so far. Hmm. Unless it's gone. Whoa, it's just a stump. Certainly is. Oh, are you stuck? Whoa. Ginkgo? Oh, dude, you are going to get sucked into that tree. Oh, hi, Ginkgo. Thank goodness. Oh my god, you're sinking further in and becoming roots. Too late. Oh god. Well, you did say you were gonna put down roots. Uh-huh. You're turning into a tree. They seem to be. Uh-oh. Okay. Waits to be eaten. All the tree's memories. Whoa. And then turns them into a tree. Yeah. And spreads its memories. Whoa. Well, Can't trick it. Shit. It's smarter than you. Oh no. Oh. Welcome to your mortality. You can't. For now. Yeah. Oh. That's a grim ginkgo look, my man. I don't think there's a way. Oh, I'm bringing it back. Cool, 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 cool. Hmm. And we do get some of that backstory. Very cool. Hello. Wow. Hmm. Hmm. A memory tree. But the tree stood. But it stood. Whoa. But it stood. Oh, wow. That's so cool. And worship the tree, yeah. Yeah, but they eventually forgot and they decided to cut it down, huh? Oh, is there now? Sweet. That's crazy. And the tree is watching all of this, right? They've forgotten that past. And if the light vein wandered, perhaps it lost its immunity, right? Mm. And she visits the tree. Mm. Because it bloomed red flowers. So they cut it down. Fire. Finished indeed. We can survive if we cut down the big tree. Oh. Cut down your gods to feed your family. Oh no. What is tradition in the face of starvation? It knows. It knows. Danger is coming. Whoa. Yeah, maybe don't cut it down, y'all. But it's just stupid. Oh, because they're mushi. It can be cut. No, the light vein moved. It lost its power. Oh, what a tragedy. Great cut. Incredible. Yay! Oops. Oh, wow. Bleeding Koki. It's not water. Wow. Because of all the life force that it bled into these mountains. Because of the tree, yeah. And now he returns to it. I don't know that it was. The village protected the tree, and now the tree protected the village. They just are. Okay. Right. Right. And it chose not to. It chose not to. It gifted itself for the village and the mountain. That's so dope. Thank you, great tree. Super precious. Okay. Now you're fucked, buddy. Sorry. Hmm. Who we gonna visit? Yeah. Resignation. Ah, and the dreams continue as those memories get deeper into you. Thousands of years of memories, right? Oh, so great. I can't. My feet hurt. Tell her a story that the trees know. No! Sad dad is sad. Wah. You ate a fruit. Oh, you're in danger. You're in danger. Or it's in danger. I don't know. Yeah. But from what? From what quarter? From whence? Fire again? Not you. The tree felt this fear. Fire again? Wow. Wow, they all listen. It's gotta be fire. Oh, nope, it's earthquake. It's the further one. And an immense landslide. Wow, what a scene. Great use of multiple layers. Oh, that's so good. And an immense landslide that takes out the entire village. And the danger passes. And the tree saves them all once again. Why am I cursed this way? It's fucking hard, y'all. Yeah, you would have all been super dead. Thanks to the tree. Thanks to Kanta. Something like that. Yeah, he's now like a super seer. That's so cool. Mad respect for the cedar tree. Ah, they're helping him rebuild his home. Yeah, you saved all of us, man. We got you. So the builder becomes a protector. But it saved you. How fucking awesome. Wow. We will listen. Yeah, for sure. Oh my god. Hmm. Hmm. There we go. Every single element of the episode wraps together, my man. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's good. No OP, no ED, just story all the way through. Right. Boom. I love this episode. I love it. It wraps so many things together in a majestic way, an incredible way. I love this scene where they're sitting near this tree and being told the story of it. One of my personal favorite places in the entire world is the redwoods in Northern California and up into Oregon. The sequoias, giant sequoia trees, these incredible, majestic, many hundreds of years old giants. Some of the biggest life forms on the planet are those insanely gigantic trees that have seen hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of years go by. And when you walk through the forests of the giant sequoias, which I've done a number of times, there is this sense of permanence and ancientness and scale that you get from those trees that's unlike anything else that I've ever experienced. And you can just sit in it and drink it in. But it's truly incredible because like hundreds of years of people after, settling California have walked through those forests and seen those trees and felt that same way about these ancient beings, these ancient things that stand and tower above. And it's true, like you'll maybe see pictures of people like with all their friends all holding hands around a big tree because it takes 8 or 10 or 12 people linking hands to circle one of these immense trees. You get trees where the furrows in their bark are deep enough to fit up, like you can climb into a furrow in their bark because they're so huge. They're so big and they're so alive still and they're so vibrant and they're surrounded by other foliage and an entire ecosystem that's unparalleled and unmatched by anything else, right? Like the shadows of those trees cover everything, but light still passes through. And so there are ferns and mosses and smaller things and saplings of the same trees growing up to replace their forebears. But there's something truly majestic about an ancient tree. There's something that's, I mean, humans, we're evolved from tree dwellers. There's something about trees and about getting up into trees and climbing trees and being around trees and being in forests that taps into something deep within us, and this deep respect for a place that our species called home for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years before we stepped off of those trees and became terrestrial mammals, terrestrial land-dwelling apes. So there's something deep seated about trees and these ancient things that create home and shelter and life and ecosystems around us that we vibe with in a truly deep way. And this story of this one incredible tree, it taps into some of those feelings for me, and reminds me of some of those things. So I have to state that as some of the background of like coming into this episode and watching these characters interact around this enormous tree and the great tragedy of this great tree, and then the great boon gifted by that tragedy and gifted by the tree itself to revitalize the land, to grow again. And that's something that it feels very real. It feels very studied to some extent because a lot of those coniferous, specifically the redwoods, the biggest of the evergreen trees, they reproduce, and this is relatively common knowledge, but they reproduce by fire. They almost require it. They require fire to crack open their seed pods and to release new offspring into the world. And a lot of those trees are scarred by fire and by multiple fires and have survived them. And it's insane to think that, but they're just so large and so immense that they can keep life within their trunks and hold on to existence through cycles of destruction and lightning caused fires, and the fires that ravage California are a part of their life cycle. Um, but the idea that death revitalizes and that perhaps a great and grand tree might die by choice is super fascinating to me. And I really like that element of this episode. But there's a lot more here that I think is worth talking about. From the outset of the episode, this one feels very different. And there's this montage that opens us up that gives us immediately this sense of time passing, of scale being created. And we meet this character and he eats this plum, and it's like, okay, you just did a thing. And we meet his family, and we meet him, and he makes this very specific comment about putting down roots. When I'm a little bit older, I'll put down roots. And trees loom over everything. And he's a woodworker, a wood carver, a carpenter, someone who takes trees and makes human things out of them, right? Simultaneously creating and destroying. It necessarily creating and destroying. And that's really interesting to me. But what else is interesting to me is the flow of scenes that we get in this intro sequence, and the amount of scenes that have trees and like woods as a background feature of everything around these people. Being away from his family and beginning to have these dreams of trees. How strange, how strange. Talking to people and beginning to look for things. And he meets Ginkgo, and he mentions something about having seen him in an old man and having known that old man for generations, for like hundreds of years, or like however long, right? Since he was a boy. That's impossible. You're like 30, dude. What are you talking about? How could you know an old man since he was a kid? And Ginkgo dismisses him as being a con artist. But Ginkgo keeps thinking about it, right? So, the history, the knowledge, the things that this tree has seen are worked into his imagination and into his dreams. And we see that the tree watches over this village like a true guardian spirit, while still being a tree and being unable to do anything to help them or harm them or anything. And he finds its location, and it's gone. It is no more. And he goes and he touches it and he sits with it and he communes with it. And suddenly he becomes a part of it. And Ginkgo is there. It's so cool and so spooky. We move along and we discover what has happened and the idea of this mushi that lives in great wooded beings and then finds a way to spread its nature to a new tree and to carry on its eternal knowledge forever is so cool, and it so aligns with a lot of the like philosophical things that I find valuable about like humans and our ability to pass on information, and attributing those ideas to a great tree, something that's so grand and like bigger than us, makes them seem even more majestic to me in the most beautiful way. I really like it. I also really like a lot of the framing and style of this episode, as we've already seen as we're moving through all the things with trees in them, all of the elements. But a lot of the faces in the episode are very stark. Like this one from Ginkgo is fantastic, and the one a little later where the guy is like, "Okay, well you can fix me, right?" And we just get this grim look from Ginkgo, and he can't. And the realization sets in that he's fucking stuck. It's this look right here where he's got the slight frown, and he's just like, "There's nothing I can do for you. This is so far beyond my ken. I have no idea." And so he tries. He really does try. He sends out these messages to other Mushishi, and we get these moments of flashback for Ginkgo, for young Ginkgo, something that we rarely see and are a delight to see. And Ginkgo paying attention to the stories of his old master, and his friend not really paying attention, but eventually being forced to. And we hear this story, the story of the earthquake, the landslide, and then the lightning strike, and how the village helps the tree. And because the village helps the tree, They heal the tree, but that wasn't why they initially came in. They came in order to cut down the tree, and it wouldn't let them. They couldn't. And so it became a thing of worship, a thing that they respected, and it chose not to let them, which sets up what will happen later as it chooses to allow them. And we hear the story from her, and we gather, like, Ginkgo is doing what the tree does. He's gathering information from different places and putting this mystery and this story together in the most wonderful way. And a fire comes, and the village is ravaged. And so they go out hastily to tear down this tree. And in a beautiful moment, it's as though the tree is weeping blood, is how I see it, readying itself for what it knows is coming, but also readying itself to manifest its memories and put them somewhere else, to shed itself. And the guy doesn't see them because they're mushi, right? All of the villagers, almost all of them, can see them, but not all of them. And the tree comes down, and it's just a majestic scene. They managed to nail the scale here. And this isn't something that Mushishi has had to do very frequently, is to manifest scale in animation and in style and in sound, and they nail it here. It's just amazing. And it falls, and it dies, and it spreads koki. An immense flow of life force that this tree has gathered for generations and generations, and it spreads it back to the land to revitalize its brethren, the trees, but also to revitalize the village because it knows that the village needs it. It knows that this is necessary, and it chooses to let them kill it, to let them sacrifice it. It reminds me of a little storybook that I had when I was a kid that was a favorite storybook of mine and one of the saddest goddamn storybooks in the entire world. It's called The Giving Tree. And if you have youngins, if you have young kids, I highly recommend getting them a copy of The Giving Tree because it's a story about tragedy, it's a story about respect, and it's a story about relationships and love. And it's about a little boy who has a tree, and he goes to the tree and he asks it for things, everything from apples to play in and boughs of the tree for him to build things out of, and eventually branches of the tree for him to build a house out of, and he has his own little family and this and that. And eventually the tree has nothing else to give, and it gives of itself completely to him. And it's that relationship of love and giving of this tree that watches over him, of this boy, and of life giving unto life. It's truly touching and truly like terrifying and sad, and it's a story that deals with death in a powerful way, in a way that's digestible for a kid, in a way that sinks in. And it's a fantastic book that I highly recommend. But I'm deeply reminded of that because this is a tree giving of itself to revitalize this land and to revitalize the village. And we've seen it's perfectly set up that we've seen those moments from the tree's perspective of looking out at this village that blossoms underneath it, right? And we understand why the tree does what it does in the most amazing way. So she tells the story, and Ginkgo understands. And he responds and talks about how the tree might have altered itself to allow this fate. So we look for a solution, and there isn't one. And we look, he cannot go and play, and he is depressed, and he is sad. But he has this moment, this realization, and the tree blooms, and he has this dream and this knowledge that something is coming, and he tries with the spirit of the tree to save as many of the people as he can, and they listen to him. Amazingly, they listen to him, but they do. We can write that off. And then the ground shakes, and I think it's fantastic. I think it's really good. The use of multiple layers shaking in different directions gives the true feel of the rocking, rolling, roilingness of a true earthquake and a landslide, and the incredible force that the earth can manifest when it shakes. when everything that we build, everything that we know upon begins to move and the ground around us is no longer stable and things are shifting. It's the most disorienting experience that you can have, as far as I'm aware, as a human being, besides like putting psychedelic drugs into yourself. Very, very seriously, like nothing comes close to an earthquake in terms of the sheer, oh shit, I'm tiny and this world is gonna fuck me up right now. I mean, again, I live in California. I live relatively near the San Andreas Fault, and we're all waiting for the big one. It'll happen probably in my lifetime, and it probably won't be good. But earthquakes are damn scary, and a lot of shit moves, and it moves in directions that you don't expect. And I think that this whole scene does an amazing job of demonstrating that. It is just sudden. I usually don't love camera shakes, but in a situation where the world is literally shaking, these camera like punch zooms in and out and shakes around, and then also the multiple layers, again shaking in different directions, are fantastic. This whole scene where we pull out from it, and there are the trees up here going this way and the other trees going this way, and it's all shaking back and forth, and it's oh, and all you can do is hunker down and hold on to something nearby and just hope. And it's all an aftermath, and the blossoms fall away, and we cut to later, and the whole attitude of the village has changed. They've all been saved by Kanta. They've all been saved by the tree. And so it builds once more, and he becomes like a respected elder in his own way. Like he becomes the great tree of his village at a young age, but he will live on, right? And he will live on with the respect of all these villagers whose lives and livelihoods were saved by him in this one moment. And he will live on as this person. If you need anything at all, don't hesitate to ask. And he tells the story, the same story, to his little girl. A story about a great tree that rose above this land. So not only do we heal this village, do we protect this world that he has, do we protect the ones around him that he loves, but we also heal this sort of far-flung carpenter and his relationship with his family by forcing him to put down roots and then giving him a reason and a way to care about and to shape the future of his community. And there's something really powerful about this guy who was out there in the world spending his time and energy elsewhere, coming back home and finding a way to pass tradition of his homeland down to help and protect the people of his homeland. There's a deeply human story built into this deeply like inhuman and deeply incredible and impossible tale that we are told of a tree giving on its memories. There's something deeply human about this character that seems to be trying to escape in a weird way. Like he still loves his family, obviously, but it's his wanderlust and his desire for exploration, and he weighs it against staying with his family, and he chooses the wanderlust and exploration. And we don't spend a lot of time like dissing him for that or being, putting that into any perspective. It's just the choice that he makes. But the tree calls him back, and he eats that plum, and the tree calls him back, and he becomes stuck. He can no longer wander. But he then we see the depression in him as he's like unable to hold on to that wanderlust. And we see later the smile on his face as he realizes that he has the potential to help and protect people here in a smaller community where it actually matters. There's something super powerful about that message, about the finding a way to not only turn a flaw or a failure into something greater, but finding a way to find fulfillment, truer fulfillment than the exploration and wanderlust, by settling and protecting the small group around you. That's deeply powerful. Wow. What a way to end the general run of the season of Mushishi Zoku Show. Absolutely fantastic episode. Easy favorite for me. Obviously, it's up there with certain other episodes that are also favorites, right? Um, but this one's damn cool, and I love a lot of elements of it, and I love the way that the story plays out. I really like the characters. I really like the little girl, the kid. I love the tree and the imagery around it. I love the earthquake and the way that it feels. This is a very visceral feeling episode to me that I feel very in touch with, I have to say. And I think it's an extraordinarily well done piece of media. Which I think also holds true for the entire run of Mushishi, and especially this last season of both seasons, really, of Zoku Show, have been some of the coolest media that I've ever experienced in a really slow, understated, powerfully, psychological and philosophical and thoughtful and meditative way. There's really nothing like it that I'm aware of. The closest thing would be like Kino no Tabi, the OG, and it's nowhere near this. It's just not even close. So I don't know anything out there that can scratch the Mushishi itch the way that Mushishi is, because it's its own damn thing and it's damn good at what it does. Fan freaking tastic last episode of Mushishi, and we're going to call it there for today. So, next week we will watch Suzu no Shizuku, the final two-parter magical awesome episode. And that's going to be it, man. Yeah. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Mushishi. I've been Teeaboo, and I certainly enjoyed this episode of Mushishi a whole bunch. I hope I've been able to express some of why I enjoyed this one. But this one's awesome. And this whole season has been fucking awesome. And I love it to pieces. Really freaking great. Great. I'll see you next time for the two-part finale. Peace.